Hi, this is Alex from devstories.eu, OpenAI Agents SDK, episode 9 of 18. You are building a persistent chatbot. You write code to fetch previous messages from a database, pass them to your agent, extract the new response, and write the updated list back to the database. It is tedious boilerplate you have written a dozen times. Today, we are looking at automating memory with built-in sessions, which replaces all that database read and write logic with a single object. Let us clear up a common misconception right away. When developers start using sessions in this SDK, they often think they still need to manually fetch and pass the message history to the agent runner alongside the session. They do not. Providing a session object to the runner completely replaces manual history management. You hand over the keys. The runner automatically retrieves past messages right before the conversation turn begins, and it automatically appends the new messages the moment the turn ends. Consider a persistent Slack bot that needs to remember user preferences across different days. You want to store this state on disk without setting up a heavy external database. The SDK provides a built-in tool for this called SQLiteSession. Because interacting with a file system requires input-output operations, this tool is fully asynchronous. To use it, you first instantiate an SQLite session, providing a file path for your local database. Then you connect to it using an async context manager. Think of this as opening a safe connection that guarantees the database file is properly locked and unlocked. Inside that connection block, you call your agent runner. Instead of passing an array of past messages to the runner, you simply pass the session object and a session ID. The session ID is just a unique string. For your Slack bot, this ID could be the user ID or the channel ID. The runner takes that ID, searches the SQLite file, loads the existing history, processes the user prompt, and then safely persists the new state back to the file. All of this happens behind the scenes. Here's the key insight. Unbounded conversation history will eventually break your context window limits. You do not want a minor chat from 3 months ago inflating your token usage or crashing your API call today. To control this, the SDK provides session settings. When you call the runner, you can include a session settings object alongside the session itself. This settings object accepts a parameter for maximum past messages. If you set it to 10, the runner automatically truncates the loaded history. It keeps only the 10 most recent messages in the active context sent to the model, but your full historical log remains safely untouched in the SQLite database. SQLiteSession is ideal for local persistence or single-server applications. If your Slack bot grows and you need to scale across multiple servers, the SDK handles that seamlessly. You keep your runner code exactly the same, but swap the local SQLite session for a distributed option like a Redis session or a Docker session. The primary takeaway is that sessions enforce a strict separation of concerns. By configuring a session object and handing it to the runner, you eliminate fragile database boilerplate and guarantee your agent memory is always perfectly synchronized with its execution state. That's it for today. Thanks for listening. Go build something cool.